So in any business, there are the high points and the low points. And if you're in a bit of a low point, I think this episode is going to be for you. Today, we're going to go through 5 things we'd fix in any struggling business. We've all been there. We've had times when our business hasn't, been raking in millions of dollars, although it probably seems like it from the way that we make it out. But yeah, let's go through these 5 things. I'm Kayla Malss, and I am today with...
Glenny James. Hey, I think it's a good one because it's at all times. So I always like to think your business is alive and breathing. It's an organism. So it moves in and out, it breathes.
ASMR.
And that means if you've got that bloody real estate on the side of the highway and it's got the old faded sign... Okay, you've got a good bit of real, because this is what I did when I had my financial advice business. The side of the building was next to a block of land on one of the busiest roads on the coast, right?
Like a billboard on a building, did you have?
Yep. And so I got the sign company to put in a track or runner that I could get like probably, 2 meters by, I think it was like 8 meters, like a big roller of like canvas sign or something like, with like a, plastic sign. Yeah. Just something disposable.
Yep.
And every couple of months, I would put a fresh sign up advertising. Because the business is alive and moving. And what happens if it was the same sign, regulars who drive past will just always see the same thing and then you glaze over it.
Yeah.
But what if there was a new promotion or sign every couple of months?
It's funny. Like I do the exact same thing in my business with meta advertising. If you see the same ad over and over again, we're constantly changing our creatives and stuff. So same thing, just digital.
Yeah, and that's because, and that was a very analog thing that I did, sign on the side of the road. A business is breathing and we always need to assess the business, health check, what's going on. And we've got 5 ideas. And look, there might be some more ideas come up as we kind of discuss this. But as you said, my name is Glen James. Let's do a podcast.
Okay, first thing. And I think I'm going to say this until I'm blue in the face on this podcast. So it's definitely not the first time that I've said this and it won't be the last. If your business is struggling, the first thing I want you to look at is knowing where your customers are coming from. So if you don't know where your next order, where your next client is coming from, that is the first thing I want you to focus on. So if you get a ton of clients through social media, is that your main channel? Or is it advertising? Or is it referrals? Know what channel you're getting your customers from.
Yeah, because without customers, you ain't got a business.
Nope.
Because the basic premise of a business is to provide a product or service for more than it costs you to provide. And that gap is called profit. And that profit is, here's a reward for taking risk. Here is a reward for serving people well. Ta-da!
And you're welcome, and that's the end of the podcast episode.
I've been real, you've been Kayla.
And that's how you run a business.
Yeah. So I think what I actually, and maybe it could go into your second point, but I'll say it here. I want you to know not only where your customers are coming from, but what are your top 3 revenue pillars. So I know when I do my P&L, I look at it in the income line. It's like, it could be podcast ads, referral income, corporate speaking, online courses, book sales, all this crap. You might have 5 or 6 sources of revenue. What I want you to do is look at the top 3 and then look at where your energy is going in the business. Because if 80% of your energy is going to the bottom 20% of revenue sources, we got a problem.
Spending way too much time, making not enough money.
So I want you to focus on, if you are that cafe. I was actually talking to a Glee Coffee. Have you met Chris? No. They're a wholesaler.
Yeah.
And they coach cafes and whatnot.
Oh, cool.
We were talking the other day because he went to a cafe and they actually hadn't put their prices up in so long. And, they had to increase the price of green beans and the wholesale cost. And Chris was great. He's like, look, we've got to increase the wholesale cost. We're not going to rock up here today and do it all overnight. Let's do it over the next 7 months, or I'm paraphrasing, making up a thing. And he says, look, I think your prices of coffee are well below the market, so we can actually work with you, increase the cost of the coffee.
Oh, so he's going out to coffee
his own
wholesale
accounts.
clients.
Yeah,
yes,
so they
gotcha.
provide beans.
Yep.
So they'll sit down and go, look, we've got to pass on this cost of coffee. Let's look at this. And the result was that over the next 8 months, if they follow the advice and work and slowly ratchet up the price to the market, quote unquote, the cafe would actually be net better off after the wholesale price increase.
Yeah.
And this kind of goes to the psychology of it and knowing what your key revenue pillars are. And I don't actually know the numbers, but go with me on the concept. They're like, look, the small coffee's X amount. We want you to take the large coffee to X amount. And I think they were like, oh, that's a lot of money or whatever. And then they kind of worked it out. Well, based on the price that you're charging for the small, the big one you sell more of, pretty much at the moment you're losing money on the big one, and that's your most popular. So why, like, at the end of the day, it was something like that. It was just looking at where
that's
the revenues.
a really great service that they offer to work with their clients, because I think most suppliers in most industries would just rates going up.
Yeah, but
that's kind of your problem to deal with.
Discussion with small business and boutique and actually giving a crap about your customers.
Yeah, 100%.
And actually knowing, I know this is a tangent, but whatever, it costs more to get a new client than keep an existing one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a good point, because that jumps to the next one with exactly that. If your business is struggling, it's really important to focus on retention, because your current customers matter now more than ever, and it is more expensive to acquire new customers. So how are you keeping those customers engaged, loyal? Are you, saying in our business with clients, just giving them a call, touching base?
All these soft benefits.
Yeah, customer service, hospitality, one could say. Super underrated. So that's something I would definitely focus on if my business was struggling.
Yeah. And then I think, would you turn that up to 11 and say, I've looked at my revenue pillars. These 2 line items are where I get 80% of the revenue from. I'm going to put energy into those 2 line items. Those current customers, I'm going to pay them some attention.
Yep.
I'm going to review their goods and services. You may even take the view that, okay, so if we've got these customers down here and they just cause us pain, it's annoying, well, let's increase the price for all the bottom 20% or wherever the non-core things are, so if we can bring these customers up to the core revenue pillar.
Yep.
If they don't want to pay extra and become part of that offering, well, no sweat off my sack, because
Jeez.
whatever, because I'm basically losing money from serving those customers. I'm losing money, they're annoying, they're stressful. Increase the price, they dance to the new hymn sheet, or they go away.
Yeah. And I think it depends on, struggling business is a spectrum. Are we struggling like we can't pay our rent for the office this week, or are we struggling like where we aren't able to scale? So having, again, knowing where your customers are coming from and getting those customers in on an ideal profitable package, and having a plan for those, customers, the last 20% that we don't love, to either bring them up to that package or pass them on, let them move on.
Another point you make here, it is financial, kind of back calculating, how much do you need to open the door?
Yeah.
How much do you need to live? And in the money world, we kind of call that a bottom-up budget. So we look at all the expenses. It could be rent, it could be staffing, it could be insurance, it could be basic, sundries or whatever. It's like, we need X amount a year to live. let's then go back and work out exactly how much we need to make off each widget or service and just kind of reset that scenario.
Yeah, exactly. And knowing how much you need to live can then start other conversations on our packages aren't priced correctly, we're spending too much time delivering these packages, our products aren't priced properly, or we need to revamp operations to be more efficient so then we can make enough to keep the doors open.
Yeah, and in the Glen James Business Plan online course, I dig into, we look at the revenue pillars and then we look at the expense pillars. Now, what if a lot of your revenue is coming online, but a lot of your expenses was some physical rent at a shop front that you actually didn't need?
Yeah.
There's a misalignment there.
Yeah.
So that's one thing you can do. We'll take a break, and when we get back, we will leave you with a couple of other things to think about if you think the business might be struggling a little bit. We'll be back right after this.
If you're after personal financial advice, don't get it from a podcast. But if you want guidance tailored to your situation, head to moneypodcast.com.au and click Get Help. We'll connect you with one of our trusted professionals, financial advisors and mortgage brokers, who work with people right across Australia. No matter where you are, they can help. Now, before we get back to the show, a quick reminder to protect your financial life. That means having income protection sorted. It means having death cover if there's any debt or dependents relying on you. It means getting your personal insurance in order. Most people insure their car, they insure their house, but what about themselves? Sky Wealth, who support this podcast, are specialist financial advisors who can help you get the right cover in place. Their advice is often more comprehensive and better value than going direct through your super. Book a complimentary 15-minute chat at sky.com.au. That's skye.com.au. And they'll point you in the right direction.
Go for it.
We're back.
We're back.
So this is one that Glen has written down, point 4.
Did it make sense to you?
It did, yeah. But as you were typing it, we're on a Google Doc, by the way, so
Yeah.
I can see him typing along. I was thinking, what is he saying? But once I read the sentence, I got it. So be honest with yourself. Are you a painting contractor on the Titanic? And what did you mean by that?
So I literally meant, the ship's going down. Why are you focusing all your energy painting deck chairs on the Titanic or rearranging them?
Yeah.
I kind of, this is in the back of my mind with my business. Ad revenue, where we get a lot of our money from, it's kind of going down.
Yeah.
So to a point, I am rearranging or deck chairs on the Titanic a little bit. So I've got to adapt and change my business model more so.
Yeah.
Because I can't rely on the ad rev being there. 3-4 years ago, when we did our national tours with marketing money and stuff, I could call a couple of companies, get a couple $100,000 from each company to sponsor a national tour.
Yeah.
No chance now. Haven't been able to do that for years. So yeah, printing money 3-4 years ago. Now, I wouldn't do a national tour before without making at least $150,000 profit for the 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, not doing it, too much effort. Now I'll do it and I'll run it at even. Like I'm doing it more now as
For the fun.
I want to get out there, I want to see our audience, but this is not a revenue pillar like it was 5 years ago.
Yep.
So yeah, it's very interesting. So in your business, the product, the service, are you a house cleaner that is vacuuming and mopping, where a lot of people now are getting RoboVax?
The context of that is that we actually both got RoboVax really
We did.
recently.
Yeah. I got to name mine. So how are you adapting to the new world? And everything's coming thick and fast.
Because it doesn't mean that you have to jump ship. Like the Titanic is going down whether you like it or not. But what's a good analogy here? There's a way you can create a lifeboat or something. In my business, in 2020 when COVID hit, my agency was, I would probably say 90% hospitality clients. All of our eggs were in the hospitality basket, and that basket went up in flames in 2020. So that was a big lesson that we had to pivot and broaden our industries and the clients that we work with. And since then, we have now worked with childcare, real estate, construction, marine clients, and now I can sleep better at night knowing that we're not reliant on the success of one industry.
Yeah, and I'm like exactly the same. I'm pivoting my business a little bit now. I've got the studio where it's exactly that. I'm not going to worry about being the general contractor for the Titanic. I'm going to sell life vests.
Yeah.
And so now, this studio I rent out, I've got 2 customers at the moment that pay to come to the studio. And I'm talking with another 2. And that's kind of that thing. It's like, well, during a gold mine, I'm not worrying about finding gold. I'm going to be selling gold pans. Have you heard of that?
Good analogy.
Yeah. So it's like, how do you supply the equipment for the industry so you're not actually at the gold base?
Yeah, and that's probably something that as a business owner you always have to be in front of, regardless of if your business is struggling. Actually, probably if your business is at its peak, it's probably time to start thinking about what's next.
This is it. I think what you should at all times, and I've tried to do this as well, in your business, we know things are moving, can you own the thing that's going to replace you? Does that make sense?
Can you own ChatGPT?
Yeah. Well, no, but you can leverage it and use it as a tool. So for example, a lot of big shopping centres, they might have 2 pharmacies.
Yeah.
One at each end, for example.
Okay.
Or a strip mall. There's a lot of pharmacists that will own both of them under different brands.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I've tried to do as well. We've got the Financially Fierce podcast. It's another money podcast. It could be seen as competition. Well, I may as well try and own the competition.
Yeah, that makes sense. And like the chemists on both sides of the street, or it's same audience, but
it's competition.
Sub audiences, I guess. Yeah,
may as well own them, or can in your business. And this is kind of, fixed to suggest in a struggling business. Can you create that thing that will replace you? Maybe you go, all right, we're going to do a low cost offering from now.
Yeah.
And try and get that. Or, okay, we've got to pivot to premium, the house cleaner. Well, we know that we're going to stop getting work. Because I was even thinking with my house cleaner, I'm like, I'll get a RoboVac to do the floors. I'm happy to clean the ensuite and bathroom. It'll take me 10 minutes. So, how do you pivot as that thing when everything's coming thick and fast? And, podcasts, for example, everyone's got a podcast. I feel ashamed when people say, what do you do? Oh, I'm a podcaster.
Enough of that.
No, because everyone's got a podcast now. I host a money show. So you host a business show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm still coming to terms with your host and co-host thing as well. That's something, how you don't like me referring to myself as a co-host.
No, you're not, because we're equal. We're equal hosts.
Yeah.
You host This Is Business.
Yeah.
The business show.
A business show.
Yeah.
Not a podcast.
No.
But I'm stoked to host a podcast. You should be stoked to host a podcast.
Yeah, maybe I'm just in this world too much. All right. My last point that I added, we'll recap the points here. First one, know where your customers are coming from. 2, know how much you need to make, so that we talked about, like, let's do a bottom-up budget. 3, customer service. Your current customers matter more than ever. Like, get out there. Get. And 4, you've got to be honest with yourself. Are you excited to get this new job painting the Titanic?
On a sinking ship.
What are we doing here? And my last point, it could be there is non-alignment with your business partner. I was in a business once. It was kind of struggling. And when we stepped back, I was not in alignment with the business partner. Different life stages, life ages, goals.
Yeah.
And that was a big thing for me. That was causing struggling. I would even say one step further, if you employ people, have you got the right people in the right roles?
Yep. You stole the words out of my mouth.
Really?
I was going to say that if you're a solopreneur, are you misaligned with your team?
Yeah.
Are you on a different playing field than your team is? that might mean you don't have the right team, or it might mean you just need to bring the team together and all get on the same page.
Well. We will leave it there. Hopefully you've been encouraged to kind of, I don't know, stick some jumper wires onto your business and crank that battery right up.
What's
and give
the
it
CPR thing? The
staying alive?
Yeah, the thing.
No, the pads.
Yeah, the electric things, revival things.
Yeah, whatever they are.
Stick those on your business and
stick that.
plug
Well,
it in.
I was doing the jumper leads right onto my pointy things and firing it up and getting some zap into me, getting some get up and get go. And there could be a thing as well. Like if you're in your business and you think it's struggling, you might have not been in the headspace for a long time. You know, get up, get cracking, get inspired, get encouraged, do something radical and go and get it, because no one ever said business was easy. If they did, it might have been easy that day they got paid heaps, but it's just, it really is a grind and a hustle, and you need to be in the right headspace to pluck that chicken.
Yeah. Listen to more of these podcast episodes. That's the focus for this podcast, is to help small business owners who are in the trenches, just like us.
Well,
we are in the trenches.
We really are. My name is Glen James. You are?
Kayla Malss.
And you can find Kayla via the link in the description, comments, show notes, all that stuff. She's got an Instagram @by KaylaMalss.
That's it.
Give her a follow, give her a like, all that stuff. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Any advice is general financial advice only, which does not take into account your objectives, financial situation, or needs. Because of that, you should consider if the advice is appropriate to you and your needs before acting on the information. If you do choose to buy a financial product, read the product disclosure statement, PDS, and target market determination, TMD, and obtain appropriate financial advice tailored to your needs. Simo Interactive Pty Ltd, the publisher of this podcast, and Glen James are authorised representatives of Money Sherpa Pty Ltd, which holds financial services license 451289. Opinions or comments from any guests on the podcast are theirs and not those of the host or the publisher or their respective license holders.